Some 30,000 Boeing factory workers have gone on strike in the United States in another upset for the embattled aerospace giant. Nearly all union members approved the walkout after rejecting management's offer of a 25% pay rise. It's the latest setback for the aircraft maker after a panel blew out of one of its planes mid-flight, and trouble with one of its spacecraft left astronauts stranded in orbit. For more, let's talk to Richard Levy, an aviation consultant based in Dallas, also a former military and commercial pilot. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, David. Good evening.
Richard, how bad is this strike going to be for Boeing in terms of production and in terms of finances?
David, production of the 737, the Boeing 767, the Boeing 777 will slow down tremendously. There are some aircraft that have already been produced that will probably be delivered to airlines, but those aircraft will be, the production of those will slow down considerably. How is it going to affect the Boeing aircraft company? They have high debt right now. Their expenses are going to increase tremendously without the revenue coming from purchases of airplanes, although most of them have been purchased well in advance. So normally a strike like this would last months. I see it lasting only weeks. Both sides need to come to an agreement, which I believe they will, and they'll get back to work with a pay raise that will be satisfactory to the union.
Now, this is just one of several crises to hit Boeing. Do you see Boeing recovering its reputation at this point? I mean, what would that take?
The reputation of Boeing, as far as I'm a retired airline pilot from a major airline, I work at another airline. Boeing's reputation is hurt a little bit from the Alaska event, which you already talked about. But as far as their ability to produce strong, solid, safe airplanes, that hasn't changed one bit. This is a labor dispute. It's not going to affect the quality of the airplanes, in my opinion, whatsoever.
And the Alaska event, to be clear, that was the door being blown off mid-flight. Let's talk about Boeing's competitor, Airbus. How do you see them possibly taking advantage of these multiple crises?
Well, the crises have been going on for a while at Boeing. However, Airbus has some issues with their A220. They're not able to deliver as many as they would like to Delta Airlines in the United States and JetBlue. Cathay Pacific flies the A350-1000 long-range airplane, fine airplane. It's had fuel leaks. So Airbus is producing as much as they can. They've had their own issues. This job action or this strike at Boeing, as I said, is going to last, in my prediction, 2 to 3 weeks. Both sides want to come to a conclusion. They need to do that for the survivability of Boeing. So Airbus is not going to just jump and start producing thousands of airplanes. They're producing as much as they can right now, before, during, and after this Boeing strike.
Aviation consultant Richard Levy with a fairly positive rating for Boeing, even despite these crises. Thank you.
Thank you, David.